Welcome to the Weekday Report for Friday, August 1st. I'm Tracy Pelishek. Here's a brief look at the news. With the Wisconsin Supreme Court's Thursday decision upholding Act 10, the legal battles are over for the legislation barring collective bargaining for most public employees. Representative Samantha Kirkman, a Salem Republican, said she thinks the ruling will allow the state to move on from the battles over the law. She said, "Time has healed." Assembly Minority Leader Peter Barca, a Kenosha Democrat, disagreed, saying that the law may have been found constitutional, but many still feel it is wrong for the state. He said he does not believe the issue is closed. The Kenosha Achievement Center got a makeover this week, courtesy of a home improvement store. Members of the Lowe's Heroes program spent part of the week putting a fresh coat of paint on the center's walls. The donated materials and labor were worth about $5,000, an amount Achievement Center CEO Chris Weicker said the center couldn't have afforded on its own. Time is turning back on Simmons Island this weekend. Joe Ward filed this report.
I'm Joe Ward, out here at Simmons Island, where reenactors are busy bringing the past to life. A handful of reenactors are setting up their tents and their teepees over there to make Simmons Island look like a 19th century trading post. This is being set up for the Pike River Rendezvous, which will be completed by Friday. The 17th annual event will begin Saturday and last through Sunday. Families will be able to enjoy wagon rides, reenactments, and live music. And if you can't make it this weekend, feel free to come stop by for the setup. Right behind us, this is what's being considered a George Washington tent. He used it at Valley Forge. That's just one of the gleans of information you can get from this weekend. For the Kenosha News, I'm Joe Ward.
Thanks, Joe. A 15-year-old girl drove the family car up the driveway and into their neighbor's house in the 2500 block of 71st Street early Thursday morning. The crash caused extensive damage to a basement wall and possibly created structural problems to the residents. The girl reportedly stepped on the gas instead of applying the brakes and overcorrected her turn, sending the vehicle into the neighboring home. There were no injuries and no citations issued since the incident occurred on private property. The girl, who had a temporary driver's license, was in the car with her mother. Over 750 swimmers from across the state have gathered at the Recplex Aqua Arena in Pleasant Prairie for the 4-day Wisconsin State Swimming Championships. The event began Thursday and runs through Sunday with over 60 club teams participating. Luke Torrey, head coach of the Pleasant Prairie Patriots swim team, said the event should be a boon for local economy as approximately 1,500 spectators are expected throughout the weekend, with the majority of them staying at local hotels. What's trending today? A Rasmussen survey released this week found that 50% of employed adults believe they'll be making more money a year from today. How optimistic are you that your wages will go up? Tell us on our Facebook page. Up next is Joe Potente with Facebook feedback.
As always, a wide range of topics sparked debate on the Kenosha News Facebook page this week. Among them, the Shalom Center's renewed plans to turn the old St. Vincent de Paul store on 14th Avenue into a homeless shelter. Stephanie Punkin Speck said, "If a building is vacant and has no other needs for it, why not give shelter to those in need of it? I think it's an amazing idea and could save lives." And Carly Abrego Tellez said, "Am I missing something? Why wouldn't that be a good idea?" Citing a poll that a majority of Americans are now telling pollsters they believe marijuana should be legalized, we asked readers about their attitude on marijuana legalization. Joe Edmark said, "End prohibition." And Vernon Voss said, "When it's more easy for my kids to get pot than a six-pack of beer, there is a problem." And a day before the state Supreme Court issued rulings upholding 3 high-profile laws, we asked readers what they'd like to hear the justices say when it came to Act 10, voter ID, and domestic partnerships. Kurt Blackwell said, "I'd like to see voters required to use their free ID. I'd like to see Act 10 upheld so workers are not subject to union extortion." Kathy Wooden Humphreys said, "Yes to gay rights, yes to unions, and no to the voter ID." To add your voice to the conversation, check out facebook.com/Kenosha News. For the Kenosha News, this is Joe Potente. Back to you, Tracy.
Thanks, Joe. Now here's a look at what we're working on today. Jesse Hellman will have coverage of tonight's Relay for Life kickoff at Parkside, and Joe Ward has this week's Sunday Choice feature, a look at Kenosha's unusually high ratio of bars to grocery stores. Pick up a copy of the Kenosha News and check kenoshanews.com for all the details on these stories and more. I'm Tracy Pelishek with the Weekday Report.